So one of my subscribers just posted a video response to one of my videos, and that's great too. I would love to have some of those. Her name is Serenity11. I'll put a link over here to her page. But she likes my knitting videos. She's one of the knitters that watches me. And she posted a video response that she's going to make Argyle socks. She's a newer knitter, but she's a brave, bold knitter. I haven't even done Argyle socks. And oops, we're done. Okay. So this one got a little bigger than I would have liked. And we have a little problem at the end with it getting loose. So let me just take off some and I just wrap it around the middle. I just put a knot in that. Here we go. Wrap it a few times around there and tuck that in. And this is once again in the middle, fine. I can pull that out a little ways and slide this off. And there you go, another perfect ball. So, oops, and then I throw it. So I have two out of that. So each one, this one's probably about 500 yards and this one's probably about 700 yards. I didn't get it quite right, as you see, one's bigger than the other. But it's hard to tell, like I said, when it's on there. Serenity11, in her response to me, posted that she got this book, and she showed the cover, but she didn't show the whole title. It's called Love to Knit Socks, and it's on the Knit Picks website, and it's a really nice looking book. I don't personally have this book. That's amazing, because I seem to have every book known to man, but you know, they keep making them, and I don't keep buying them. So, in this book, they have apparently they have Argyle socks, which she is interested in making. And I've never made Argyle socks. I must admit that. But that doesn't, because I don't want to. I would love to. But I just haven't. I may have to get this book. I'm looking at other images from the book, and they're just awesome. That's one cool thing about the Knit Picks website, is they do show you many different pictures from the book, so you can see. Anyway, the Argyle socks, her question was, how do you make, the Argyle socks are supposed to be for a size 8 or 9, and the person she is making them for, which I think is very courageous, to make something brand new for somebody that you've never tried it before. So one of my suggestions to her is to make a sample sock. Just one, see if you like it, and then if it fits you or fits them, fine, just keep going with it. The other thing is, I forgot to mention to her, is that once you have, especially if, I think if you're using circular needles, it's easier, because if you're using 4 or 5 of the double pointed needles, it gets a little pokey trying to try the sock on. But if you've got if you're using 2 circular needles like I do when I knit socks, those can just dangle off the ends, and you've just got the middle part of the circular needles, and so it's pliable, and you can just slide your foot in without getting poked. So anyway, you can try the foot on your own foot, the sock on your own foot, and see if it's big enough for the person. Or if it's, you don't want the sock to be too small, because if it's too small, it squishes their toes. I mean, you know what I don't know if you've ever had socks that are too small. I have, and it squishes your toes. It's not comfortable. Socks, if they're a little bigger, that's okay, especially if it's a yarn that may shrink a little bit. You can shrink it up, felt it up a little bit. If it's a wool, it's, almost if you're knitting for somebody else and they're not a knitter, I would suggest using something that's either been pre-washed and won't shrink. Sock yarn is the best, because sock yarn, most of it has already been washed. It won't shrink. It's called, there's washable wool, which is what I would use. Any of the sock yarns that are that way. Anyway, they also have a little bit of nylon in them for a little stretch, so I would suggest that. Get some solid color sock yarns. It's the right gauge usually. Anyway, so she wanted to know how you make those socks smaller. Well, making them shorter is easy enough. You could just stop your pattern earlier, go to a solid color, and just stop the pattern. But the problem is, if the sock pattern goes all the way around like Argyle socks do, how do you make that narrower? Well, I was thinking about this today, and one of the things is go down a gauge in the size of your needles. So and you'd have to swatch this. Anything you do, swatch, make a sample of it. I usually, when I'm doing socks, I just start, most of them say start with 60 stitches and join, if you're doing a top to down sock. 60 stitches or 85 stitches or something like that, join, and then proceed with the ribbing. Well, I would just do that and see, what you've got for stretch, what it look, I would do that. And then if they're suggesting like a size 3 needle, you might want to drop it down to a size 1 needle. Or if they start with a size 5, you might want to drop it down to a 3 and see what the difference is, what gauge that gives you. And that right in itself might make it small enough. And then you wouldn't have to adjust the pattern size at all, because I think adjusting the pattern is going to be very hard. Because if you left a few stitches out or something like that, it's just not going to match up. It's going to be like plaids that don't match up. Another thing Serenity 11 asked me, or not, she didn't ask me, she was talking about is she doesn't have access to a local group of knitters to do like a knit group. And I really don't either. I'm kind of in the boonies, but what I did when I very first started was there was a local yarn shop, and I did go there and was able to get some help. The Village Sheep, and that was close to me, and I was able to get some help on a couple things that were bothering me about, and I really had never even thought about socks, and they helped me get started on that because somebody was making socks and I watched her. Anyway, so a local yarn shop is really good. Depends on your yarn shop. I've been into some where, oh my God, they acted like such snobs. I kid you not. Most of them aren't like that, but I have been in a couple when I've been traveling and just stopped in a shop where I don't know why people are even like that, but 2 shops that I can think of right away, one that's close and one that's several states away. I walked in and I just immediately felt the cold shoulder from the people there. There was one of them, there was a bunch of knitters sitting there circling around a table knitting in a circle. And I went over and started talking to them about what they were making and everything, and they didn't say a word. They were like, couldn't be bothered. So that was rude. But you know what? You don't take that personally, and you just move on, because what's nuts, The other one I was in, I had to hunt down the person to actually help me because she was sitting in the back knitting. And now I understand getting engrossed in things, but you are at work, or it is your shop, when someone comes in the door, you need to put your knitting down, come over and talk to them. Hello. Anyway, what Serenity said is that she would like to have an online YouTube maybe group of sock knitters. Some kind of a group. Jake, shh. Some kind of a group where you could ask questions and that sort of thing. Now, there are several things that aren't YouTube that are like that. There's Ravelry. The Knit Pick site itself has lots of different vlogs. There's just different people's blogs, and there's also a lot of Yahoo groups that I belong to where people help each other. You can really, any question you have, like she could probably search for Argyle sock help, and come up with some different sites. So you're not alone out there if you have the internet. Really, you aren't. And a lot of people have emailed me questions, stuff, and I'm sorry I don't have time to help everybody that asks for help. And sometimes people will respond to one of my videos and say, please make a video about this. Well, I kind of don't work that way. I'm not doing this as totally instructional videos. I'm doing this because I'm in the midst of doing something like this. I'm going to be making a shawl. I'll have to show you the pattern. It's called Triangles in Triangles, I think. I love it. I've made it once before, but it's easy pattern to do and get used to, and I love the way it looks and the way it goes together. So that's why. And so I decided I had to wind this anyway. I would make a video about it because maybe people don't know how to do this or don't have this equipment, and they're wondering, should I get this equipment or should I spend the money? Because like a wooden Swift will cost you minimum $75 to $100, and I don't have a wooden Swift because of that. Although I think they're wonderful. I do have an antique one that's broken that my husband said he will fix. Well, he has a few other things he's doing. But this one is like $35. It used to be. It may be up to $40 now. I don't know. The plastic one. And it lasts pretty much forever. I have 2 of them. I got one at a, was it a tag sale? Garage sale? I don't know. Can't remember where I got it, but it was dirt cheap. I think I spent $5 on the other one. It's blue. And it didn't last as long. It was older. And it was bent in some ways, but I paid $5 for it, so who cares? But this one I bought, and it's just serving me wonderfully. You can just do all kinds of things with it. And this has lasted me faithfully too. So, a little bit of money invested in these things. Even though they're plastic, they work really well. Just wanted to give you a little update on that. And I may make more of a vlog later. So, but that's the knitting vlog for the day. And Serenity, keep knitting, keep being an adventurous knitter. I think that's wonderful. And keep watching my videos, and I'll try to help you out if you have questions. Okay, hope that helped. Bye.